Welcome in everyone to a stock up, stock down. We're combining this one. As you can see, big news as of yesterday. We did put a video out yesterday, a short one, just to get it out there in case you don't use Twitter. I guess I don't really know why you wouldn't use Twitter. But we're just going to be talking about one, Dalvin Cook and how his stock is going down, or really is it? And Mattison, how it's going way up when really shouldn't. We don't really know yet, so we're going to walk you through all that here. So to start off with Dalvin Cook's scenario. So he said he's going to wait to hold out because he is set to be an unrestricted free agent, a UFA. That means you hit the market and whoever contract you like, you can take. But that being said, there's more to it than people think. So there's a rule in the NFL contracts handbook, if you will, that a player in the round he was taken, which is round 2, has to play 4 seasons in order to be an unrestricted free agent in that 5th year if the 5th year option is not exercised, which it definitely could be, I believe. I don't think they've declined it at all. But so his 2 options are he shows up for training camp and misses 0 games in terms of like he's on the roster for 0 games, not he's holding out for week 1, 2, 3, and then comes in week 4. Or he misses camp and then potentially misses up to 10 games to be a restricted free agent, which that means that we're to throw the Dolphins. Say the Dolphins are going to throw him $10 million next year in free agency. The Vikings either have to match the $10 million or give him a better offer for him to sign there. So basically what it means is he's coming back to camp if he wants to be unrestricted to hit the market next year, or he's going to be a restricted free agent. And it's kind of hard to gauge because we're kind of talking about this whole injury concern. We don't know how the league feels about, is he worth the money that he wants, which is apparently McCaffrey, David Johnson money, which is, I think it would get negotiated back down to 11 mil here. So Tyler, what are your initial thoughts on really just the scenario in general, and really will he get signed to that big of a deal, or how do you think the NFL teams evaluate this?
Yeah, again, I touched on it in our short video yesterday, minute and 37 seconds. Check it out, or don't. Just continue listening to this. We'll give you all the rundown. What I mentioned specifically in that video is we've seen this before. We've seen guys do the full year, Le'Veon Bell, and we've seen guys do about 2/3, and we've seen guys do full season. They'll come back, things will get done, and they'll work with it. Now, Vikings, I'm pretty sure sitting around 12 mil in cap space, so he wants very lucrative. I've seen reports of up to 13 mil to reports of he wants Christian McCaffrey money, which is hot. I don't know if he won't get Christian McCaffrey money. That's for sure. But the report of him getting around 13, I think can be worked around, and I think they could probably reach something like that. It's hard to gauge, right? Because every person's a little different. I think we all were thinking Zeke was just going to do the Bell situation and sit out the whole season. We realized he's maybe a little bit more of a gamer than that. He wants to come back and play for his team. Melvin Gordon, we thought would come back a little earlier than he did, and he never did. He stayed out. So it's really hard to gauge because it's a lot in the person and a lot in the man to see what they're going to do. It's kind of hard to give any more evidence of like history back on this because it's really only been about 3 guys running from the running back position that's done this. The only thing we can say is, hey, some guys have done this a full year. Some have come back and played the full season. So it's really hit or miss, at least on that. And then what to expect from Mattison, right? So Dalvin Cook obviously is a premier back in the NFL. From an efficiency standpoint, there's a lot of things that can be compared. It does not look good when Mattison's the running back in the backfield than when Dalvin Cook is. Production premium, 25th for Cook, 72nd for Mattison. Yards created, 5th for Cook, 35th for Mattison. So we're not really looking at an incredible talent in Mattison as a guy you really want, but more or less I would say an RB2. I mean, there's some other stuff. Dominator, 6th for Cook, 89th for Mattison. He isn't really overtaking any backfield. And fantasy points per opportunity, 48th, and 111th for Mattison. So he really isn't even putting up the fantasy points, let alone the efficiency on the field. He had 8% of his 8% of plays last year was just breakaway runs. That's where the core bit of what he was making fantasy points last year was on. And that's very hard to sustain. And I don't know if I want to count on that sustaining. But here's the thing: if Dalvin Cook's out, it's a run. It's always just kind of been that run-based offense. He's going to get opportunity. And Mattison going into the 2nd year, it could be very enticing for people.
Yeah, so back to the Vikings contract. They have around 11 mil right now, projecting that they sign all their rookies, give or take up to 13 mil, I'd say. So that is right now. So they would have to because it's like this is like the roster they're rolling with. So they'd have to make moves, cut some people to bring back in Cook. They're projected to be right around 29 million next year, which I think is like 26th or 5th from the bottom if I do my math right. But obviously, what I just laid out is he's not going to get to next year unless he comes back. And from what I'm hearing, he's not coming back, is what it sounds like. So they're not going to have the opportunity to give him the offer they want next year when they have more money. So, yeah, like you said perfectly, this is completely different than the Zeke scenario because we've seen running backs come into the Cowboys offensive line and produce the same yards per carry, yards per touch, efficiency that Zeke has. Obviously not the fantasy points or the touchdowns or the whatever you want to call it, but we haven't seen any other running back really since AP put up this efficiency in the system that Dalvin Cook did. I think if they rolled into the season with Mattison, they would be okay. I think in the long term it would work itself out, but we don't know. Mike Boone's still there. They might have Amir Abdullah, which is still, they used him quite a bit last year.
But Mike Boone, baby.
Mike Boone, gross. Dalvin Cook Dynasty.
Well, yeah. Mattison. So Mattison actually played less games than Cook last year. There's a little fun fact for you. 13 to 14. So yeah, Mike Boone was taking over, and Mike Boone a lot more productive than Alexander Mattison. Sure, that's in a situation where he actually was getting starting opportunity.
Yeah.
But that's something I need to see too. I mean, how do we know Alexander Mattison's not just going to go down a bunch too in season? So that'll be interesting to see that.
Yeah, and I think that's where like my next point is. This is where you capitalize. Like I know I'm a big proponent of this. I don't like having running backs that I'm going to like absolutely have to play in my 1 or 2 on contract years. That's not really how I like to roll in Dynasty because we see this stuff every year. Mixon's attempting to hold out. Jones now in a contract year, they might have got his replacement in DJ Dillon. So you kind of we see this every year, but I don't think people like really realize. So like Dalvin Cook, I don't think his dynasty value goes down. Like he's 24. He's not done in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like as much as people think Le'Veon Bell sucks now, he was still beneficial for your fantasy roster after he held out 1 year. So like I mean, obviously the value goes down a little bit, but in reality too, don't trade away Dalvin Cook right now because you're not going to get the return he's worth, and trade away Alexander Mattison because we've never seen a running back fill into a scenario like this. Austin Eckler maybe, but then Gordon came back because he was going to outproduce him. So sell Mattison while you can, capitalize on this risk return investment that you made at the pick, and just soar off into the sunset. The one thing I say is every time a player gets traded or a team gets a player, there's always 2 sides to dynasty value. If in this scenario, Dalvin Cook's gone, this is where you trade. Even though Mattison's value goes up, this is where you capitalize on and you trade Mattison right now. So just a quick sort of dynasty stock evaluation of this backfield now, kind of what the contract really is. What is reasonable in terms of, is he going to be playing next year? We don't really know exactly. We'll have more information. It's only June. But this is something to monitor. Maneuver your dynasty league is really nice. This is where if you maybe are competing this year, maybe you go shoot a first for Dalvin Cook or et cetera, something like that. So, Tyler, you have an announcement about your sort of sponsorship affiliate thing, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, real quick. So I know people are going to be like, well, what round do you want to take Mattison? And I think at a startup right now, I can't see taking him any higher than like the 8th. And I feel like that's a comfortability position for you as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably go, like 6 through 8th is where I was taking him, kind of, because like I said,
6 just feels high, right? Because you're actually missing on starters over him.
Yeah, that was more. I mean, I've been off Cook and Dynasty just because not even the injury, well, kind of the injuries, but I didn't think they were going to pay him coming into next year. I didn't think he would hold out. So I was just like, Mattison he's going to return me value somewhere else. So I'd say like the comfortability and like where you're going to return fantasy points, long-term value, your return ratio when you trade him is like the 7th, 8th round. Yeah. But we all know he's not going to be going there. We saw this with Tony Pollard last year, Darrell Henderson last year when Todd Gurley's knee injury became an issue. And really, like I said, we don't see situations like this because, I mean, Eckler was the only situation that actually worked out last year, and no one was really like all over him to where we saw this huge jump in ADP. So Yeah, I'd say 8th round. Where did you say? 8th round, roughly 7th to 8th round?
Yeah.
All righty. Well, you can talk about your Shady Rays here.
Guys, new affiliate deal, Shady Rays, very electric sunglass company. I'm very excited to begin working with them. Links in the description down below, so check that out. Each pair bought by you give 10 meals to Fighting Hungry via Feeding America. Guys, it's a cause that I really back. When I was working with the company on it, I was like, this is a great thing. You're giving back to people in your community, to people that need meals, because that's the one thing that we need to rely on as people. It's air, shelter, and food, and being able to help out in the community is very important to me. And then throw on top of that, you're getting very high-end sunglasses for relatively very good prices. Each pair is backed with a lifetime guarantee, lifetime craftsman's warranty, they call it. You get a free replacement if you lose them. If they break, you just contact them. They will replace your sunglasses. So not only are you getting high-end stuff, but if anything happens to that high-end sunglass pair, you get that replaced. Guys, it's a very, very good company that we're supporting. Very excited to be working with them. Again, link in the description below. High-end stuff featuring sunglasses on this channel any day now. They'll come in the mail, and I'll wear them, and I'll test them out for you guys so you believe in the quality. Lucas, are we done here?
I think so. And if you listen this far, just stay tuned. We might have to do some giveaways on some sunglasses for a draft guide coming out July 6th. We are super excited, and we will see you guys tomorrow.